Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Zelda Speedruns 2. Happy New Year! I've not been on yet, but here I am. And here is the WaveCrash 90% No Manual Super Sim Tournament 2022. We call it the WaveCrash. It's lower bracket, round 2, game 1, so best of 3. And it's Endvad versus Nimzo. A cool match, a cool stream, and a great commentator. EJ, take it away. It's all yours.
Hello, thank you. So yeah, this is going to be round 2. So this is going to be the first match of losers round 2, actually. We just finished winners round 2 and had some people also do losers round 1. So I guess in this match,
C'est America, c'est trop bien.
Nimzo and Endvad are both really good runners. Nimzo
Dommage pour le
falling
follow,
to
pour le wall,
Jim
pour l'emote wall,
in
Eldir.
winners round 2
Il faut que
last
j'enlève.
week, which is pretty unfortunate. Just a really good opponent. And Endvad beating Ronaldo in losers round 1. They lost to Jwist in the very, very beginning. So yeah, this is a double limb bracket, best of 3. So these guys are both in the losers bracket. They've already lost the winners match. So if they lose, they are out. And best of 3, meaning they need to win 2 out of the 3 matches. So this is game 1. It'll be starting shortly. And I guess I could explain exactly what no MSS is right now, but we have a fancy 5-minute intro, so I mean, maybe I could do it now, I could do it later, I have plenty of time. I am on my own on this one for commentary, but it shouldn't be too bad. I guess they said my name, but I'm also a runner of this game for quite a bit, and also in the tournament. Nimzo having some major internet issues, apparently. I see. Hopefully he can figure that out. Hopefully he does. But yeah, this category is, I guess, the most beginner friendly. I wouldn't call this game exactly beginner friendly. It's kind of difficult no matter what you do or how much you tweak the route. There's always some difficulty in it. But this is any percent no MSS, which differs from any percent in the fact that it has some restrictions. The main one being no manual super swim. Some other ones notably being no actor unloading, which I will brush aside from explaining because I don't think it's too worth getting the details here. And also no PG skip, which is puppet cannon skip, just to kind of avoid having a really, I guess, punishing endgame, because it already kind of is to an extent, so we kind of wanted to make it a little more beginner friendly for the best we can, banning that trick. Manual super swim is, I think most people are pretty familiar with it, even if they don't watch WaveCrash speedruns that crazy often. It's just the pausing thing at the beginning of the game that you see oh so many runners do in most other categories. Yeah, so we won't see that. So because of that, we'll be pretty much going through the kind of intro of the game, I guess, like the vanilla, I guess, storyline of the game, at least up until like the first 30 minutes. That doesn't necessarily mean there'll be no, speedrun tips and tricks. It's just that it'll more so be trying to do vanilla stuff as fast as possible, kind of honing the movement and doing some cheeky little time saves, but nothing crazy until the 30-minute mark. And it seems that Nimzo has solved this problem, so that's cool. Another astute viewer the fact that an astute viewer might have noticed is that, at least on Nimzo's screen, or let me see, I need to press play. Yeah, both of their screens. In fact, I just made them both play on my screen. They have numbers on their file name. That is not. It's not a coincidence that they have the same. Oh, it's starting. It's starting in 15 seconds. Oh boy. So yeah, it's about to start. But they have numbers in their file name, and that's because we require a randomized file name made every time there is a race, just for an extra layer of verification. We don't, we don't expect anyone to cheat, but there is, fun fact, there is a prize pool, so just to add some validity, to make sure no one's, playing a recorded run or anything. But yeah, good luck to both the runners. Should start on your guys' perspective momentarily. It just started for me. And yeah, as I mentioned, there is a 5-minute intro that usually the commentators like to explain what no MSS is as a category, although I've already done that. So now I have to fill 5 more minutes. I guess what I can talk about is intro skip. So for those who are a little more aware of the particular rules of the community, there is an intro skip that was recently, well, not like recently, but recently in the grand scheme of things allowed. However, it's not allowed in this tournament just for the sake of simplicity, because, not everyone uses it, not everyone has it set up. Just another layer of hoops to jump through that we didn't want to deal with. But unfortunately, because of that, we're going to have to watch this cutscene, or at least lore and then the aerial cutscene. They will gain control at about 5:12, so we have quite some time. I guess I can talk about the runners a little bit. Nimzo, relatively newer to the Wind Waker game, but a legend in other Zelda games. TP and Skyward Sword coming to mind the most off the top of my head. Nimzo got good pretty dang quick. TP's a 117. It was actually second seed coming into the tournament because we had some seeding races and they did pretty well. So that's pretty good. And then Endvad's PB being, I think, a 132, if I can see the splits correctly. I will double check. Yeah, so 132.13, actually got 9 days ago. It's pretty sick. Also been improving pretty hard and practicing a lot for this tournament as well. And I guess another thing I can explain is the run is done on the Japanese version because it is just so much faster. It saves like multiple minutes, even in a short like hour category like this. Trick-wise, there are some differences, but they don't affect most of the speedruns. They're kind of a little more obscure. So you can do this exact route on an English copy at home, or any copy at home. However, it might just be way slower. Which is, if you've ever speedrun Wind Waker and played on like an actual JP copy and ever gone back to English, like a vanilla English, not even like rando, it'll literally be, you'll just be sitting there for an eternity. Yeah, any copy, even a Wii U copy, wow. So yeah, they're about to end the lore part of the intro. And we'll get to the actual cutscene part of the intro. So as I mentioned, there is no manual super sum allowed, so there will be no 3 minutes of pausing to get to Dragon Roost as soon as possible. The reason why we usually like to do that is because getting the Wind Waker as soon as possible is just really broken. It kind of just breaks open the game immediately. And so much so that it's still even our goal here, it's just that we unfortunately have to play Well, not unfortunately, but just because of the rule set, we have to play kind of vanilla up to that point. But our goal is still to get Wind Waker as soon as possible. But just as a note, kind of a comparison, in this category we get Wind Waker like at the 31-minute mark about. In normal at any percent, you can get it as quick as like sub 8 minutes. Yeah, we could do the 2-hour hover. I was looking for that recently. I couldn't find it on the leaderboard. Is it still there? Yeah, someone has bothered to hover all the way to DRI. For no reason other than just to submit a... I think it was a no MSS... No, I had to... Wait. Would that count as a no MSS run? I guess it would. Genius. It was deleted. I'm assuming it was deleted by the person, because I do not know if any of the mods deleted it, to my knowledge. So yeah, they just got control, and they're now, as I mentioned, going to pretty much go through the entirety of the start of the game, to do the tutorial, as you could say, vanilla, but they're going to try to do as fast as possible. So what they're going to need to do is pretty much get off the island, and some key story elements to do that is getting heroes close, getting the telescope, saving Tetra, getting the sword, getting the shield, so on and so forth. So they're just going to do everything as fast as they can. So first step is getting the heroes close. That is one thing about no MSS, is usually in MSS categories we keep the pajamas the entire time because we don't have to do this. Unfortunately, we're going to have to put on the green clothes. I like the pajamas more. They are cooler. So after this, you're going to save warp, because it's faster than leaving and walking all the way back to talk to Errol. And save warping being we're going to save and then quit and then reload the save. That'll put us at our, I guess, our... wherever our save flag is, and that happens to be right outside the post, or the outpost again, which is faster than walking back. Never many. Well, it might be like a 2-person tournament. Also, you have to route it first. But I won't be joining that. So now they're going to talk to Errol and get the telescope. And then they're going to watch a cool cutscene. I have routed some fun categories, but not optimally. I've routed them for fun. For the fun categories. So that I have less of a bad time. Fun fact, the telescope kind of like super auto aims for you. You got some aim assist here. It aligns you perfectly vertically, or horizontally. And as long as you aim in the general area of the bird vertically, it kind of like auto-corrects itself as you zoom in. Which is kind of cool. And a small gamer tip, if you hold down on both the stick and the C stick, you save some frames because you look up to look at the bird and you zoom out so that you look less up. It's like, whoa. Oh, the auto aim? I see. Can't believe you. Yeah, so now they have done the things necessary to needing to save Tetra, but they don't have a weapon to do that. Because you can't save someone without a weapon, so we're gonna go get a weapon. And the quickest one is going to Orca and doing this little tutorial, because it gives you a sword. And this would be like the first, I guess, instance of clear speedrunning tactics. We're gonna do specific combos, so holding different stick directions during the combo leads to different results, and some are faster, some are slower, but they lead to the same, I guess, end result here where we get to move on to the tutorial. So what they're going to do is do 2 attacks that they're gonna first recognize what Orca's asking them to do 2 attacks of that attack, and then in the later 2 hits of the combo, hold back and then hold forward, and that is the fastest way to do the combo. Also coming up is another trick called quick parry. Kind of the gimmick of this tutorial is that Orca has you do 2 sets of every type of attack in full. One of those being parries, and if you parry in a 2-frame window, the second one appears extremely fast as opposed to waiting. Nimzo going for it right now. I don't have his audio on, so maybe he got it? He got it, wow, that's pretty good. So now Endvad is going for it. I think that was late, but I could be wrong. Yes, so you can see that Endvad missed the frame window, so has to wait significantly longer. It also sucks if you just mess up and go early, that loses time too, although you get 2 quick ones after that, but it saves a significant amount of time for what you can realistically save an outset from fastiness, so it's pretty good. Save warping once again, and now they're going to save Tetra. Some minor, mostly just movement optimizations here as kind of the majority of the first 30 minutes of the run. There will be one cool thing. You see the Bokoblin fight at the end of the Forest of Fairies, which is where we're heading, where we save Tetra. And there's a cool combo you can do out of the cutscene to kill them really quickly, like both. I know Nimzo will be going for it. I'm not sure off the top of my head if Endvad goes for it, but we'll see. You don't have to do it. If you just do some normal slashes and kind of move around a little bit, you can kill them quickly too. But it is the fastest way. But also, it can get kind of nasty if you mess it up though. Because if you hit a Bokoblin from behind, you will knock them down, and then they're invulnerable as they're knocked down. Nimzo grabbing this secret red rupee. Usually you're supposed to crawl through it, but you can just poke your sword through it and grab it. That's important. Rupees are important, notably for the sale. That's all we need to buy, but we need it. It costs 80 rupees. So Nimzo going for it in combo. Oh, yeah, he got it. Nice. Nimzo, there's 2. Never mind. They got more rupees. They passed 2 rupees. Another thing I kind of didn't talk about, you might have noticed that they side hopped after the red rupee into the cutscene of the Bokoblin noticing them. That's important because it makes the Bokoblin walk towards you during that cutscene, which makes it way less likely that he'll kick you off when you're trying to climb it. Loses a lot of time. So now they're both done with... pretty much done with outset. The last thing we need to do is just go through a lot of text and cutscene, and then grab the shield, and then we're off to FF1, which is Forsaken Fortress 1. It's called 1 because it's the first time there. There's like 3 FFs, and also the map select calls them 1, 2, and 3, so it's official. Wow. So now, to go through these cutscenes, Errol's getting kidnapped. Very cool. We'll save her later. Actually, we won't forget about that. Because it is required. But this is probably the longest text section of the route or the category. It is not here. There's no really text mashing here. It's once this fade out finishes and proceeds to the next part, there's a really long text box. This is one of the bigger, like if you were to compare English and Japanese side by side of this sequence of text, you would quickly realize how bad not having Japanese text is. So a good time that people aim for is like low 16, sub 16 for outset. That's hopefully what we'll see. I think Nimzo got both quick parry and the Calvin combo, which is like the two big things that you want to go for. The two things that save the most time for sure in the outside segment, other than this clean movement. So I believe Nimzo will definitely get a sub 16. After this text box shenanigans, Nimzo and Endvad will just run back to the house. Oh no. Nimzo talked to the Birdman again. It's over. Cool jump slash from Nimzo to skip the fence post. It's not as easy as it seems. If you normally try to jump slash over it, you'll just land on top of it and lose some momentum and have to jump off. If you do it a little bit correctly, you do a little bit of finicking, you can just avoid that altogether. Which is kind of rad. And then I guess before we get to FF1, we have to get Spoils Bag. Spoils Bag coming up. It's not useful for anything. In fact, it just leads to potential inconveniences, but because we have to go through the story like the way the game intended for the first 30 minutes, we can't proceed without getting it, so we have to get it. Kind of unfortunate. It's whatever, though. Nimzo done with outset at about 15:53, which is 52, which is pretty good considering that they talked to the bird dude. That could have maybe been a sub 50. So both players now done with outset. We'll be back later. For what, you'll have to wait and see, but we'll be back later. Okay, so now we're going to get the Spoils Bag, which requires a little thing called Ropes 1. It's just a little bit of a mini game of sorts. It's called Ropes 1 because there is indeed a Ropes 2. But we won't see that till like the 36, 37 minute mark. This one being the easier of the two. Well, runners are usually more familiar with the second one, so maybe this one's more spooky because we don't do it as often, unless you do this category a lot. But it's pretty straightforward. It's supposed to be a little like platformer tutorial and how to use the ropes. But it ain't too bad. Although usually, because we're speedrunners, we try to do it really quickly, and sometimes we cut some corners, and maybe cut the corners a little too much, and then we fall. Hopefully that doesn't happen to either of the runners. It's fine if they fall, just loses quite a bit of time. And also Nico makes fun of you, so you don't want to be made fun of. I guess this run's kind of broken up into 3 parts, I would say. Kind of, I guess, up to Wind Waker, where you kind of have to play the game pretty much casually, but fast. 2 is kind of collecting all the overworld items we need as fast as possible, and then 3 is just going to the end game and beating it, so right now we're still on that first third. So Nimzo's about to collect the Spoils Bag, and we'll immediately save warp. Again, sometimes where save warping is just faster than walking back to where you need to go. In this case, our destination is just at the top of the ship deck again. And To go back, we'd have to jump down, climb a ladder, go up some stairs, slow. And now, something very important is Nimzo's going to attempt to go for early lights here. The way this works is that we need rubies for the sale, and there are conveniently 2 red rubies amounting up to 40 rubies at FF1 in a convenient spot. However, it's also not convenient because there are searchlights that kind of patrol the island that if you get caught by them, you get thrown back into jail. I guess into jail for the first time in this route. And 2 of them, their pathing happens to overlap with the red rubies at a certain part of the cycle. So we want to hopefully get to the red rubies at a good point of the cycle without having to wait for anything. And conveniently, if we just do everything good, it lines up that way. However, the starting point of that isn't when we get there. It started the moment that Nimzo loaded the save. Like these lights right now that you see moving, like this is the actual cycle, and it'll persist until like all the way through all of this till we gain control. Like this is all happening, like actually, like those lights are actually moving. That's the actual cycle they're on, and there is no like a reload of the area until we get control. It's all happening seamlessly. So all this text mashing matters. If you're slow on this, you will not make it. Nimzo almost at the end of the mashing. I believe he goes for it. I'm pretty sure. It's a little scary because getting caught loses like 40 seconds. Assuming if you don't get the rubies, it loses even more because you have to go back. But we'll see. Nimzo getting launched. Endvad about to get launched. Still pretty close. Although it should stay relatively close for the first like 30 minutes. After the 30 minutes, where big mistakes can start happening because the game gets a little more broken and a lot more opportunities to get owned by the game, I guess. You know, the main gimmick of this area, at least, and it kind of is true to a sense in the speedrun too, but it's supposed to be like a stealth mission. You're not supposed to get caught. So we're trying to get to the top without getting caught, so we'll see how that goes. There are some cool little exploits we use. One of them actually being vanilla, but kind of exploiting the fact to the extremes. Okay, so Nimzo opting to not go for early light cycle. I'm not sure off the top of my head if they just don't go for it in general. I forget. But not a big deal. You get some extra rupees out of it. Lose a little bit of time, but get some extra rupees, play a little bit safe. Nothing wrong with that. And it'll be coming up on window jump for him, so you can do an epic parkour jump to skip going through some doors to get to this point. Whoa. Now I can go straight to this light. Endvad also going for the normal lights, no biggie. Has a lot of rupees. And we'll do the same coming up window jump. And we have to come beat up this bokoblin because it's controlling the 3rd searchlight, which happens to kind of shine towards a sidling ledge up top. And if we don't kill it, it'll catch us when we try to sidle there later. So both runners will come up and kill this bokoblin. And then jump slash back into the window instead of doing a cool jump. Let's do a cool jump slash. And now with that out of the way, pretty much they're just running as fast as they can till the end. One thing coming up that is maybe will look kind of weird is that usually, if you're familiar, there are barrels that we can hide in, and we use it to kind of sneak around the moblins, the big pig dudes coming up. It's gonna look like Nimzo and Endvad are just walking past them, and they should be caught, but they won't be. It's because in well, I'll let it happen first, so you can see that Nimzo just grab this barrel, leave it, and just run past these dudes. They're like blind. What the heck are they doing? Ooh. That could have been very bad if he grabbed that ledge sooner, so that's cool. Yeah, you can get caught if that moblin turns around quickly enough. It's kind of an RNG. But you can hide behind. Luckily, there's a little ledge. You can hide behind the staircase, like ledge. And if you hide yourself behind that, he does not see you anymore. And Nimzo do a similar thing with the third moblin up here too. We'll add the barrel, wait for it to stop sniffing, and then run past. So yeah, kind of what's happening with that is that that's a vanilla mechanic of the game, is that you can hide in those barrels. Another thing that they kind of put into the game is when you leave the barrel, they kind of gave you a brief moment of kind of reduced visibility on the moblin's end, just to kind of make it a little more easier for the player. However, they kind of super overdid it, like super duper overdid it, to the fact when you do what you saw these two runners do. Like that's an intended mechanic in the game, but just taken to the extreme. Just kind of neat. Kind of went overboard. So yeah, both runners. Well, Endvad about to get past the third moblin. But both runners kind of in the last stretch of FF1, getting the sword, killing this goblin, and then bam. You know, now that I've thought about it, why the heck is a green bokoblin the boss of this? Like, they could have just put a moblin instead, because like the whole time you're like avoiding moblins because they're scary and will catch you, and now that you have your sword back, you should beat up a moblin. But no, it's just a bokoblin. Nimzo getting owned by the sword. I couldn't open the door because the sword is at the same spot. It prioritizes picking up the sword. Yeah, Nimzo done with FF1. Endvad about to be done with FF1. One thing to note about sidling, you probably can't tell as easily because you can't see their input displays. But they are all tapping the direction they're sidling and not holding it, because it resets it to stick back to neutral. And for some reason, if you just like it's called quick sidling. If you just tap the stick really quickly, you'll sidle faster. It's a dub. I hate it, but it's faster. Now we have about 3.5 minutes of cutscenes and text. A lot of cutscenes and text in this game. Yeah, that is true. So the way those I guess that's a good explanation. That's a good thing to bring up. The way those moblins or the lanterns work is that if you have no sword, which is this case right here, they will always be they'll always be triggered to throw you into the jail. And that fun fact can be exploited, as you see like in any MSS category, where we get the Wind Waker and swim straight to a submarine with moblins with lanterns in them. And because we have no sword, they'll look at us, capture us, and throw us all the way into the moblins. So yeah, they could have either done some shenanigans or just put a non-lantern moblin, and then it could have been a boss. And I think that would have been cooler. Because, like, we beat up moblins all the time before this. But we'd never beaten up a moblin before. So now that we've beaten FF1, we're now at Windfall, kind of one of the major islands of the game. That's where the sail is. So pretty much what we're going to be doing here is just getting the sail as fast as possible and dipping. Not really much else of need here. It's kind of just a quick hit and run. It'll be sailing straight to the Wind Waker, and that's where the game will finally like break open. I guess one thing to note is that if you are photosensitive, this is a photosensitivity warning for pretty much, I won't say the rest of the run, but the moment we get Wind Waker till we enter Forsaken Fortress was about like a 20-minute stretch. We'll be doing a glitch called Super Swims sporadically through that entire 20-minute segment, about 20-30-minute segment of the run. And there'll be a lot of flashing screens. Not so much flashing lights, just that the screen will alternate 180 every frame, and it might look kind of a little aggressive to some people. So just throwing that out there. But yeah, so they'll just be grabbing the remaining rupees they need to get 80. We'll buy the sail, and then take off with Coral towards DRI, or Dragon Roost Island, which is where we're supposed to go for the next part of the game, because we're supposed to get Din's Pearl, as Coral wants us to do. However, we'll just be dipping immediately. I guess I should preemptively explain storage, actually, because this always becomes a problem. I have to explain a million things by the time we get there. So, getting Wind Waker kind of opens up the biggest glitch in the game for us, called storage. The way storage works is that you grab a ledge with specific circumstances, and when you pull the Wind Waker, when you climb up the ledge, you will fall off of it and initiate a Wind Waker dive, which is basically just having the Wind Waker out in the air. And if you cancel the Wind Waker dive 3 frames before landing, you'll get a glitch called storage, which is very, very complicated, but it's very, very powerful. It basically just allows us to do weird interactions with a lot of events. You'll see many uses. There are many uses even in this category. Those being like storage, double storage, camera lock, chest storage. I think that's everything you see in this category. Cutscene skips, those will be interesting. And those all branch out from one single glitch with all its various applications. So yeah, they'll be sailing now. You'll see that Nimzo is sail jumping. That being important because every time you pull out the sail, you get like a brief speed boost that decays really quickly, normally. But when you pull out the sail and jump, you maintain that speed boost. It doesn't decay till you land, and you can just chain it over and over again to get a little more speed than just normally sailing. You can also do that with just sail pumping, where you just put away and take out the sail over and over and over again. Let's see which one Endvad does. I don't remember off the top of my head. Sail jumping as well. So these guys are both sail jumpers. Oh wait, no, Endvad is sail pumping. Okay. I think I was just misled by that first jump, because I guess most people jump out from that little alcove anyways, so yeah, that makes sense. So you can kind of notice more clearly from Endvad that every time he pulls out the sail, he gets a little bit of a jolt, and that is that little acceleration that I'm talking about that kind of tapers off really quickly. So yeah, now Nimzo's about to get Wind Waker, and we'll do storage and do a glitch called camera lock. So one of the things that storage can interact with is the Wind Waker state. So when you pull out the Wind Waker, usually you are you can't move, and you have this weird camera that's locked in front of Link's face. That's kind of why we call it camera lock. But when we do that Wind Waker, when we pull the Wind Waker at storage, we enter camera lock, which is we're in that state where we can move, and it keeps the camera always in front of Link, no matter what. And we can abuse that fact by, when we go into the water and we hold up, that's Link's turning around. So the camera also snaps and turns around. But then because it snapped and turned around, Link will turn around again because behind is now changed. And it will just chain over and over and over again. And in this game, when you turn around the water, you gain -3 speed. So pretty much we're about to gain -3 speed every second. And then we'll go really fast. Kind of layer on top of that. Nimzo's not just going to get storage and do that immediately. He's going to get a thing called double storage, because another thing you can do is you can store text, and this is getting kind of crazy. When you store text, when you put it away, when you kind of close out the text, you get storage back, and it's like, what the heck? And then, yeah, so he's getting storage, and then so if you get storage back, that means if you get storage with a text stub, you can get your camera lock. And then, oh my god, you can close the text in camera lock and get storage back. It's very complicated. I think it's not really going to make sense to someone who doesn't understand entirely, but, you know, I'm trying. So yeah, you can see that he failed, but he needs to get storage again with the text stub. He will enter camera lock and then close the text, and will have storage back while in camera lock. So now he has camera lock, no storage, closes the text, has storage again. This is very important because we can now get storage. We have storage while swimming away from something, which is really useful to do other things with it. Usually you cannot do this without double storage. And he's going to do another thing called chest storage. Another thing you can interact with storage is chests. When you open a chest with storage, it kind of cancels the animation. But you get the item eventually. It kind of delays getting the item. I'm not going to really go into depth about that. I don't think it's really too important. Oh, Nimzo, unfortunately, hit neutral, I think? Hitting neutral is bad in a swim. He is fine, thank God. I will explain why that could have been very bad later. I'm just explaining a lot of storage stuff. It's crazy. So yeah, he's interacting with this chest, stores that, cancels the animation. And in this game, when you open a chest, Link kind of climbs into it, and to kind of have that effect happen in the game, it's programmed to alter as collision. So now we have altered collision, because we canceled that animation so it never got undone. The reason why it's black is this is a specific chest that kind of has a dimming effect when you open it. This doesn't happen to all chests. Because of this, though, we will not have vision until we leave the quadrant. Endvad doing the same, just got double storage leaving as well, quite impressive. And now we have chest storage versus ultra collision. One byproduct being that we can rub against some things and just get free air refills. Wow, very cool. Second byproduct is that we can walk up a lot of things or clip through things because our collision is altered, which we'll see momentarily with both Endvad and Nimzo. And I guess I've gotten past the storage essay, PowerPoint presentation. Nimzo almost drowning, oh my god. It's just a lot to explain, and it's kind of hard to explain every single run, because we got to assume that it's fresh people every time, you know? Or otherwise it would just make no sense. So yeah, Nimzo's about to climb this boy with the power of chest storage. Wow, beautiful. We'll see a more crazy use later of this. So yeah, the reason why I was scared about Nimzo almost drowning is it's very crucial that we do not reload the overworld the entire time from the moment we beat FF1. Because when you beat FF1, you're put in a special layer, and for some reason on this special layer, the boat's just here. So the boat is not supposed to be here on outset, but it is because we're on a special layer still. And we need this because when we come here, because we've kind of completed ropes 1, the ship's automatically already set to ropes 2, or the bomb state. This is where we get bombs. So that's important. If we were to void out at all, the ship will not be here. There's a backup called Great Fish, but it's a lot slower. So this is ropes 2. I mentioned ropes 2 earlier. Wow. It's harder. It's cooler though. Sick parkour. So Endvad also coming up on outset, going speedy. You may notice that many put Windfall Monka S, and that's because you want to stop somewhere to reload, or not reload, get a refill, because you can't just make that swim all the way to outset from fucking the top of the chart, the C chart, to the bottom of the C chart. It's very difficult to do with no refills. That's hard. So got a refill from Windfall. Most runners like to do paw print outpost, as you saw Nimzo just kind of touch a wooden post. Windfall is a lot bigger and easier to hit, however, because we're going across the island or the map so quickly, loading so many different quadrants, there's a high chance that the game will just safety reload you to like fix the memory, and that'll be pretty much a run killer. Not in the aspect of like a marathon or like race, you can just continue doing Great Fish, lose a lot of time, and it's a lot more likely if you touch Windfall. So luckily Endvad did not get that. Yeah, so now Endvad about to get bombs. Nimzo's gotten bombs. He's about to go get Leaf. That's the next major item. He'll be doing double storage again off of the NPC behind him. And then the reason this is important, because he's about to do a super swim to Forest Haven. And normally when you go to Forest Haven, like some other big islands, there is a nice panning shot that introduces it because it's an important island. And when you enter that cutscene with camera lock, the camera lock kind of hijacks the camera panning. And that cutscene will only end if the camera finishes panning, but because it never can, and it can never start, it'll soft lock. Hence, we got double storage to get another storage and camera lock so that when we go there, we will just eat the cutscene, which is very useful. And you'll see it happen with Nimzo momentarily. But what'll happen that'll kind of look kind of weird is the moment that the quadrant loads and the trigger loads, he'll just snap to another position. And that's him snapping to the cutscene position, but because he has storage, it'll just eat the cutscene and he'll be fine. And we won't get soft lock. So it happens about right now. Wow. So yeah, that is the result of the cutscene getting owned. And now you'll be entering Forest Haven as quick as possible. You can't enter it normally because we don't have grapple hook. So Nimzo will do a bomb clip. There are multiple ways you can do the bomb clip, or you can do a dive off of Wind Waker dive off of Beetle's ship. We'll see if Endvad does either one. I forget off the top of my head. And now Nimzo will be opting to damage down You'll find out soon why he's doing this. No spoilers. That wouldn't be very cool if I spoiled it. But we're about to see another application of storage. We're going to do a cutscene skip. So usually when we come in here, you see that the Deku Tree has chews messing with them, so you kill them. And it starts a cutscene that eventually leads to the leaf being spawned. That's a long cutscene though, so we're going to try to skip it. So what we're going to do pretty much is skip the cutscene. Oh man, there's like someone blowing leaves outside. What the heck? I don't know if that's audible. Either way. So basically, he's going to get storage and bonk the tree. It'll put the chews in a weird state. Everyone take notes on this. It'll be a weird state where they're uninteractable. Well, they're interactable, but you can't kill them. They'll just kind of fly towards their... they'll fly towards their, I guess, facing direction, and you can still push them out. And when they go out, they eventually start falling into the void of nothingness, and then when they go low enough, they'll be unloaded, and that counts as you killing them. So technically, when you push all of them out, eventually they'll all be dead, and the cutscene will start. And the reason why this is important is we can take one of those, the last one, and time it so that it starts the cutscene to a specific time. And we want that specific time to overlap with what we're about to do, where we get crushed by the Deku Tree's chin with storage activated. And what that does is it starts the cutscene, but because we have storage, it allows the environment to still proceed for a couple of, like a second. Usually when a cutscene starts, the entire game just like freezes. But instead we can have storage and we get crushed during that small brief transition period. And if we get crushed while the cutscene is starting, as we're about to see with Nimzo hopefully, is bam, we will skip the cutscene. Link is standing up, which means it has succeeded. If you're laying down in the water, that means you have failed. The other fail case being if the cutscene just started because you didn't do it properly either. And now we can get leap. We're going to grapple, so we can't get up there. There's one bulb that requires grapple, so we damage down for a hover. This is leaf hover. Probably the hardest trick in the run of this category. Just from a, I guess, physical standpoint, this is a pretty demanding hover for a first hover to learn for a beginner category. There are alternatives for this. You can do a chest storage alternative, or you can climb the outside. So as you can see, this is what you're supposed to do usually. Endvad's opting to just watch the cutscene. Completely valid. The cutscene skip only saves 50 seconds, I believe, and if you mess it up, you lose like 2 minutes, so ain't that big of a deal. It's a good risk. It's a good balance, or I guess risk choice to just avoid that. Don't want to lose 2 minutes. And now Nimzo has hovered up high enough and can just grab the leaf, and we're up. Oh, unfortunate. Died right before grabbing the leaf, so that did not count, and Nimzo's gonna have to do it again. Unfortunate, but not the end-all be-all. Unfortunate because Nimzo was on PB pace. At this point, it'll be pretty dang hard. And yes, the frame window is pretty darn high. It's not like frame perfect or anything. Like, we're not even, like, all the setup parts of, like, the timings is just all eyeball. It's not crazy. If it was more precise, it would be so hard. It would maybe be borderline, like... It wouldn't be impossible, but it'd be a lot more difficult. You'd have to pause a lot more. So yeah, unfortunately, because Nimzo failed the hover, he's going to have to damage down again and attempt it again. And because of this situation now, they're pretty much even now. I think Endvad's cutscene's about to end. Actually, I don't think the tree has yelled to spawn the leaf yet. Okay, so maybe it's a little bit. So either way, the gap is closed pretty significantly. Also note that the specific position that Nimzo's going for is pretty darn good. Like, Nimzo's a pretty good masher, so it's making it look pretty easy. he did the hover for all intents and purposes, just that unfortunately landed a little too fast before the leaf came back to the right spot, because the tree part was like swaying back and forth. But it ain't that big of a deal, we'll just do it again. Endvad about to start his hover as well. I don't think I've seen this specific setup before. But, seems cool. Oh boy. I don't know, hold on. 1 second. Oh, unfortunately Nimzo did the same thing twice. I wasn't paying attention exactly if, he popped up from below or if he landed from above. I wasn't paying attention. Was any astute viewer watching? Regarding the comment about wanting to speedrun, yeah, I mean, MSS, that's cleared by this. Regarding the hover aspect, you could technically skip this hover. There's a way easier alternative regarding chest storage. It's a little bit easier, but it loses quite a bit of time. But hey, if you're just trying to learn and get into the speed game, it's a pretty valid alternative. So that kind of answers that problem. Unfortunately, there is one hover that'll always be required in this category, at least with current knowledge, which is the Morph hover. However, the Morph hover is significantly shorter and significantly easier than Leaf hover. Leaf hover is definitely one of the hardest hovers, even just in general, just out of sheer mashing requirement. Well, not really. You don't have to go fast, but I think just compared to other hovers, it's a little more involved. And we're gonna have a surprise guest. That's what I've been taking care of right now. That's why I didn't know exactly how Nimzo failed, but any moment now we're gonna have a surprise guest. Hopefully third time's the charm for Nimzo. Thinking a little bit slower here, hopefully, making sure that he correctly lands on the leaf. Nice. So yeah, I guess my apologies for kind of being a little distracted, but Endvad right now, what he's been doing is, now we need to get the quiver. That's the next item we're getting as quickly as possible. So what he did is he got double storage with coral text and the little ledge on Beetle's barrel, and swam to this little raft here with a chest. We got chest storage, and now we're gonna swim towards Thorned Fairy Island. That is where our next quiver, or that's where the quickest quiver upgrade is found. I think Endvad's gonna opt to hit this little refill real quick, which is a refill with chest storage, and then bam, can just head towards Thorn, which is way far north. And as I mentioned, chest storage can not only climb things, it can also clip through certain things. So you're gonna see that Endvad will apparently, visually, just walk through this, but just because of chest storage. Just ESS walk through, walk through. The reason why we're getting quiver is because eventually we need light arrows. However, quiver does not give you the ability to use arrows. But we just need to stop and grab this real quick.
Yes.
Oh, it's our surprise guest, Minnie.
Yes, my name is Minnie. The Prince of Personality.
Ah, yes.
One of the 5 gods of Wind Waker comms. Now, as you can see, there is clearly a quiver now.
Exactly. That's
And
exactly
now,
what happened.
being able to hold arrows is important, because arrows, for example, they can be used against enemies, such as Boko Blitz.
Yes, yes.
But even more important for this route is we actually need it to damage Puppet Man,
Yeah,
Ganon.
Puppet Man. So yeah, Endvad is, now that we got Quiver, we're trying to just go to Forsaken Fortress again as quickly as possible. It's now in a state called FF2. It's our second visit. This island's kind of annoying to get storage off of. Our only option is a peg, where we roll up and then kind of pull the Wind Waker at a certain time. It'll automatically enter a dive, and you can cancel it like that.
There,
I just got
yeah.
it. It's a little weird.
Honestly, that wasn't even that slow, is the thing. Like, it's such a bad spot.
Yeah, now we're gonna head to Oasis, just to grab a chest. This is the most convenient chest.
Yeah.
And then bam, we'll head back to
Ooh.
FF2 with chest storage.
Yes, the idea here is we need... Yeah, he already said it. It's chest storage in FF2. But that's not... that swim's not going to work if he keeps going on the island, to say the least.
That is true. So now Nimzo got peg storage pretty quickly, and we're pretty much tied back up. Endvad has a little more speed, so I guess now they're leaving at pretty much the same time. Endvad kind of fine-tuning his angle a little bit, just to make sure he makes it.
He's got his protractor out.
And now we'll do another.
I used to
double
carry
storage.
one of those.
I don't have a protractor, and it's kind of annoying. It's my job technically. Like I just need one sometimes. And I don't have one.
I used to carry one in my coat pocket. I found it on the floor at school one day.
Oh boy, was it like a
But then it
fancy
got
one?
broken.
Oh.
Nah, just a cheap plastic one. I think I still have the pieces somewhere, if you want.
Yeah, we can work that out later.
Yeah, anyway, though, yeah, this is the other chest storage. As you can see, it's quite dark.
Yeah, this is the same kind of scenario as the Crescent Island chest, where there's a dimming effect. This did not happen at a 5-star, which is the chest we got before Quiver, because that's just a normal wooden chest. There is no dimming effect to that one.
Yeah, it's a little known fact that opening the chest actually makes the whole world dark, which is a little disturbing, but, you know.
Quick pit stop at the reef. Surprising Nimzo with how fast he was going didn't clip through or climb up. These reefs are kind of annoying, in which a lot of things can happen. They just ruin the runner's time and enjoyment. But luckily, neither of them got owned by the reef.
The real victim there is the viewer, because they gotta watch them, like, recover from it.
Yeah, and because we have chest storage, you don't, like, slide off of surfaces. You just get stuck to them. So if you get stuck inside the reef, it can be very hard to get out.
And he's still got camera lock, too.
Yeah. So Nimzo is now at FF. And because he has chest storage, he'll clip through it, and he'll just literally climb to the very top to the loading zone to get to the end. No need to fight Phantom Ganon, no need to go through any of the rooms.
And the sad part is, he can't even fight Phantom Ganon if he wanted to.
Yeah.
Well, he can't beat him anyway.
Yeah, you need the Master Sword.
And by need the Master Sword, I mean, you need to have collected the Master Sword. You can use a Deku Stick.
It's
Boko
very
stick.
fun. So yeah, now this is kind of the point of, I guess, the third phase of the run. This is endgame. Well, after, I guess, FF2, but there'll be no more super swims. We're just going to Hyrule and then beating the game as fast as possible. We have all the items we need, minus light arrows, but we'll solve that later.
Yeah, this run is roughly, that's
actually unfortunate. I think, what is the
tragic.
best? I guess the best case is just go back to the water, and yeah, it's fine. Luckily, failing like that doesn't put you close to the Phantom Ganon trigger. Honestly, hitting it wouldn't be that bad either. It'd just be kind of annoying.
Yeah, but at least he did that cool music.
Yeah. Yeah, so we did what I said would happen. We saved Errol. It only took us 54 minutes. But we came back for her.
Yeah. You kind of need this cutscene to occur.
Yeah, this game is very stupid. There's a thing called animation sets. There's 2 of them. Animation set 1, animation set 2. They kind of divide the first half and the second half of the game. And certain cutscenes need certain animation sets to play, and if you don't have the right one, you'll just crash. I mean, this is like the point that they chose, where animation set 2 is set. So now every cutscene onwards from a story perspective has animation set 2. So theoretically, if you were to go, well, you can do this. You can go to Hyrule from a different way, and if you were to try to watch some endgame cutscenes, like the Puppet Ganon cutscene or like the Ganon cutscene, you would just crash and you couldn't beat the game. Also, the credits can't start. You'd also crash from like the beating Ganondorf cutscene before the cutscenes start. So this is very important.
And I don't remember what cutscenes crash if you have animation set 2, but it's probably a few. But that's not important here.
Yeah, probably a lot of like the dungeon cutscenes, like beating the dungeon, the Pearl cutscenes, probably Taiji cutscenes, stuff like that.
It does make routing a little more restrictive in other categories.
So another thing, not as important in this one, because we kind of have to get Coral for this MSS, but one of the next cutscenes coming up also not only requires animation set 2, but it requires Coral, which is very annoying. If you don't have Coral, it crashes. Coral is spawned from beating Forsaken Fortress 1. So that's an unfortunate burden. Any percentage we have to beat FF1 solely to spawn Coral. Because if we don't, we'll just softwalk. And next cutscene. Oh my, Minnie's being a prick. Wait, I mean Minnie's a call with me. Mac is being a prick. Yeah, Coral is the King of Red Lions. It's our boat. Yeah, I mentioned this at the start, but at the start of each race in the race room on race time, a random number file name is generated just to prevent a preventative measure against someone playing a recorded run.
Yeah, that's what I would do if I was in this tournament.
Would you guess the number?
Yeah, because I'm not very good at this game.
So I guess one thing to come up is that... What the... Okay, I was about to, like... Wait, why is he doing this? Endvad is doing the super swim. I want to see if he's actually been practicing this. So you can get storage off that ledge and swim up. This might be just for swag, but if he actually can do this fast, that'd be kind of impressive, because I cannot do this fast. It's just very hard. It's very hard to do this quickly. It saves like 6 seconds, and it's very hard to do. And kind of what we've been kind of glossing over is Nimzo trying to skip the bird fight by grabbing this ledge. If you grab this ledge in a specific way from various different setups, you can clip out. Unfortunately, having kind of a tough time. Kind of low on magic too. Hopefully he saved at some point. I guess he knows SVA setup at least. Sadly I had to give up on the swim. I mean, it's a very difficult swim. Would have been very swag if he got it though. Oh yeah, so Nimzo is now opting to go for oh god. Nimzo, if you can hear me, grab hearts. Actually, you don't need hearts, but there's a chance you might die to the spikes. Oh, he going for the leaf again. He said, screw that. I'm good. That should work. Bam.
Hey, you got it. With like one bit of magic to spare.
Yeah, Nimzo, if you can hear me again, you're gonna want to grab magic in Courtyard. Endvad opting for the same skip. Yeah, that was a feisty segment from both runners.
At least Endvad got a clean skip there.
Was not expecting Endvad to go for that. I think actually, if I remember correctly, in their last run, or last race match, they went for it. I don't think they got the storage though. Some mistakes. Endvad went for the Helm Rock swim. Didn't pan out that well though. It was kind of cool though. I don't know how long you've been gone. Nimzo failed the Deku Leaf hover twice, unfortunately landing next to the leaf twice. That was the biggest mistake from Nimzo. Other than that, I guess also failing Helm Rock skip a little bit.
The biggest mistake of his whole life, really.
Yeah, up to this point.
Yeah.
So honestly, this run is pretty close. It's kind of cool to be competitive. We always like to see that. A lot of nail biters actually in the past. Well, not like super nail biters, but a lot of close matches in this round and the last round.
Yeah, my nails are kind of short.
Oh no.
So, hopefully we don't have too many more of those. I'm going to run out of them.
Coming up on Barrier Skip, another fun fact is we now have Master Sword. This cutscene and some other cutscenes kind of expect you to have certain items up to this point to also kind of show off in the cutscene. Big ones being, I guess, Mirror Shield Hero Shield, Mirror Shield, Master Sword. So up to this point, we're supposed to have Hero Shield and Master Sword. We already have Hero Shield, but because we didn't have Master Sword, the game just gives it to us, so it's ours now. One weird thing is that even if you have no Hero's Tunic, you have like pajamas, you'll get Hero's Tunic in this cutscene, but it doesn't give it to you like it gives Master Sword, and that's just, I don't know why.
Yeah. I guess because, actually, what happens in the what is that thing called? The one where you have pajamas normally.
Oh, and like the Heroes quest, or like the second thing?
Yeah.
I don't know, actually. I would assume that you just have pajamas. That's interesting.
Well, I'm not looking it up to find out.
Maybe that's why, though, honestly. Huh.
Yeah. Could be why it doesn't just permanently change it. Anywho, as you can see, the boat is talking to Charizard and these other bird types. We never meet any of these people except for one of them.
Game 2 is tomorrow, and the potential Game 3 is tomorrow as well. There have been instances where it's been all three back to back to back, but they specifically opted to schedule just one today.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is at like 6 a.m. for me. I don't know if I'll be up for that.
So sometimes, when it's back to back to back, EJ, after by the time the third game starts, he's asleep.
Yeah, I'm asleep. We can, Mini. Luckily, it'll only be 2 smiley face.
Yeah, I mean, you really don't have a chance, do you?
I'll practice a little bit. The problem is, Mini is like B game is like my perfect run in this category. But you'll never know. Maybe Mini will choke. But out of respect, I will do some runs beforehand. I'll do some runs. I'll grind some segments. I don't want to get absolutely destroyed.
Well, it looks like Nimzo's taking your advice and getting some magic.
Yes. I think that's enough. Yeah, I was about to say, there is something we call poor grass. There's a lot of grass patches there just don't give any items ever. And it's important to know which ones. I don't know which ones.
Poor grass. People always talking bad about it. And look at this cutscene showcasing these empty halls that are always this empty and never have a bunch of enemies in them.
I know, it's crazy. So now it's time for barrier skip. I don't know. I think Nimzo does Trog setup. I don't know which setup Endvad does, but there's like 4 setups for barrier skip. The 4 mainstream ones. I think there's like one more I could think of, but like no one does it.
I hope they get it quickly. We've seen some pretty bad barrier skips in this tournament.
Oh, Nimzo. I don't remember Nimzo doing 2 side hop. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe he switched recently. Actually, yeah, I think I recall a conversation we had. Yeah, he did. But yeah, basically, to start off, we're doing knockback cancel. We pull Wind Waker in the last frame of the damage vulnerability. The knockback part won't affect us anymore, but we have to get past the actual barrier now. And after getting a precise angle and position, and then dropping the bomb in a precise animation frame, you can just clip right through by dropping a bomb, because it'll push you fast enough to clip through. It's just enough speed. So yeah, Endvad is doing Trog setup. Nimzo is doing 2 side hop made by Mini. Unfortunately failed. Needs to push Tetra out the way a little bit.
Well, that's what you get for using Mini's setup, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, Mini?
Now is going for... Now they're both going for the bomb drops. So one little fun fact, Trog's setup is a little different from the rest in the fact that he uses a different position and a different animation of the bomb. So Nimzo is spinning the camera to know when to drop the bomb, like so. Bam, got barrier skip, easy peasy. But Endvad's setup, or Trog's setup, requires to drop out the first possible frame, which is why he's not spinning the camera. And now, Nimzo can do Ganon's Tower. It's the end of the game.
Going through another little area that never has any enemies in it.
Yeah, like ever. Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think about that we can just skip the barrier. Nowadays, at least in the community, it's it's not as spectacular because it's done in like every run, but it is kind of still an amazing feat when you think about it. It's evolved quite a bit too from what it originally was. The setup might look daunting, but it's way easier than the actor unloading we used to have to do. Like honestly, it's only daunting visually, but once you learn the setup, it's a very simple. It's a precise but simple trick. Nothing too crazy.
Now, speaking of precise but simple, I'm not actually sure how precise or simple this is, but...
Well, I guess roll clip, it's frame clip. But yeah, Nimzo is about to do trial skip. There's 2 main methods. There's the ledge clip on the door frame, which is a little bit slower but easier, and then there's the ledge clip, where we grab the ledge from a certain way to partially clip into it, and you can do a frame-perfect roll clip. A roll clip being when you grab a ledge partially in it, there's a frame-perfect window where you can roll in it and you can clip through the collision. I do prefer actor unload. Actually, that route is still really sick, and I like actor unloading. Just the actor unloading is like... To evolve it more, to be brought back into runs is just so mind-numbingly painful that, unfortunately, it just hurts.
Also, by the way, Endvad got barrier skip.
Nice, and just enough magic. But trust me, Minnie and I have been fighting the AU fight in more obscure things. Also, I'm doing a route right now that has actor unloading, but it's more of a meme.
What, you found a way for Calais Namos with forest water?
No, I'm only doing it to
unload the forest water.
Yeah, I'm using it to unload the restriction of the tuner to blow up the coral, or the Nehru's door.
Smart.
Which is actually, what is the easiest one? Oh yeah, so Nimzo sidled through the door. When you sidle like that, you can barely touch the trigger. It just saves a couple frames. It's just a little bit faster. It also pulled a bomb on the spike door, so that you avoid turning around, saves a second. And also, notice you went through a maze right now. totally guessed every choice randomly every single time. And now we have light arrows. And light arrows is cool. Gives us light arrows. Also gives us fire and ice arrows. Just cause. Why not? But this alone wouldn't let us use arrows. And quiver alone wouldn't let us use arrows. But together, we can now use the bow and arrow. And have all 3 elemental arrows. Which is... We actually need fire arrows. Well, we don't need fire arrows, but... It's faster to have fire arrows, so it's very convenient. Endvad getting the same roll clip. Nice.
Unfortunately, we don't get to use ice arrows.
Yeah, there's no... Ice arrows has very few speedrun. Well, I guess...
Well, once you have light arrows...
Yeah.
Because you can beat a couple enemies pretty quickly with ice arrows.
Ice arrows is good for AD. And I guess Hundo, just to get in Fire Mountain. And Ice Arrows, the only other good thing is for entering AD without medley, or getting through AD without medley. I can't think of any hard required Ice Arrow uses other than that.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess they can kill some enemies faster. Like...
That's what I just said.
Oh my god.
You're fired.
But like Light Arrows does that, however there's specific enemies where like a Mothula, which is the flying bug dude in Forbidden Woods, for some reason, even when you kill them, I guess a Light Arrow would solve that too, actually, but they take like 5 years to actually die. Like their body on the ground, but Ice Arrows and Light Arrows just pulverize them.
Yeah, there's a couple enemies like that, but Ice Arrows solves that particular one.
You know, now, after Light Arrows, we're just gonna beat Puppet Ganon, and usually you need to, like, cut the strings, shoot the tail, but we're just gonna shoot the tail. We're just gonna snipe it and go by pretty fast. And after that, we'll get to the fun RNG. We'll explain that after. We're not.
You gotta watch this dumb cutscene first.
Yeah, exactly.
As you can see, Ganon's got, like, this character we've never met before. They are apparently asleep.
Yeah, this match is pretty close, especially considering the fact that the RNG at the end, if you are aware of it, pretty much means, even though if you want to argue that like a 3-minute gap is pretty big. Actually, I guess no, it's like a 2-minute gap. I'm stupid. But even so, anybody can win just solely off the fact of the RNG at the end, not even considering any like mess ups or mistakes.
Yeah. It is a little unfortunate, but that's why it's best of 3.
Yeah, Nimzo's about to start the fight. Endvad about to enter the fight. See how it goes for Nimzo. First phase is the hardest in a speedrunning sense, I guess. Yeah, we'll just need to straight up snipe the tail and hopefully hit it. See how it goes.
Honestly, it's probably the hardest in a casual sense, too. It's,
Yeah, I don't understand. I swear it's harder to hit the tail when you cut it with the boomerang, or just cut the rope. I cannot hit it, like when that happens in a run. 2 good shots so far. Right side tail, which is kind of annoying, but hopefully we'll see how this goes. The thigh. The thigh is too strong. It blocked.
Yeah, Ganondorf's, as the kids say, thick.
Yeah, thighs save lives. And in this case, it was Puppet Ganon's life that was saved.
And despite Link's little dance celebrating, Puppet Ganon's not actually dead yet. Now he's a spider.
Wow.
This really isn't a puppet anymore. Like,
there's a single string, I think, in the middle.
Like,
Oh boy, he got crypt shot.
Yeah, that's good.
Crypt shot is when you shoot the first arrow to hit damage. If you aim and shoot it properly, you can hit it a second time.
Oh, and he got magic refill too. This is a pretty good round for him.
In phase 3, similarly, is just sniping, but you can also run into it with a bomb to stun it. But another pretty easy phase. Has the luxury to spam arrows because it has a lot of magic. Opts to stun and then gets a free hit. He just needs one more. And Endvad about to start his journey.
There's other ways you can stun it too, but bombs is the most effective.
Yeah, we also want to be damaging down right now too, so yeah, it's just the nicest.
Right, and as Puppet Ganon dies on one stream, one runner, Endvad is now starting the fight.
Now begins the RNG hell. So now Nimzo's going to climb up the rope, do a thing called grapple skip, because there's going to be 3 layers of platforms. To get to the second layer, Nimzo's going to do a trick called grapple skip. And to get to the third layer, there is no grapple skip. There's grapple requirements for both, but there's no grapple skip for the last layer. So we have to somehow get up there still. Luckily, there's a warp pod up there that's currently closed, but there's also morphs. So Nimzo's going to be able to shoot the morph through the ground with a fire arrow. It'll burn, and it'll bounce into the pot lid and burn the pot lid. However, that has a 1 in 3 chance of happening. There's 2 morphs we can use, so in total, a 1 in 3 chance across both. And it just either it works or it doesn't, and then you reload the area every time it doesn't work, and you could just be stuck at this forever, technically. There is a hover alternative that loses like 50 seconds, but it's kind of difficult, and I don't know if either runner will opt to do it. So we might just see an RNG fest.
Spider-Man. Let's see.
Nimzo
he's out of magic, so no crypt shot.
Nimzo taking the first shot. Did not work. We'll see a nice little cutscene of the pot lid burning if it ever works.
Yeah, but these grapple skips, it's one of those little things. Oh, we got crypt shot. It's one of those little things in this game that just saves a pretty amazing amount of time, because
yeah, we
getting
have to
the grapple, you know. What's with Nimzo's stream? Are you seeing this?
Yeah, I think his internet's just having issues every now and then. It's been good for the most part. I think it's fine now. Just having a little bit of a moment. I was hearing some funny audio. How about you?
Yeah.
Whoa. Endvad's like PG kind of like curled up in a weird way that I've never seen before.
Oh, yeah.
That was interesting. Nimzo on attempt number 4 did not get it. Or Morth 4, reload number 2.
Yay.
So now
what's
pretty
the
much,
current Morth PB?
Oh yeah, that's another fact. There's a prize pool not only for the top 3 placings, but also for the highest Morth RNG. Right now, currently, I want to say it's like 13. Minnie can maybe correct me if I'm wrong. But now, assuming 14. So now, assuming that Nimzo does not get it this time, they're pretty much tied. And they're kind of offset so that they'll each take their own attempts separately as the other one's climbing, so that's kind of interesting. But yeah, they're pretty much like all tied up now, which is kind of crazy, considering that Nimzo is 2 minutes ahead, beating PG. And all of a sudden, the great equalizer, you know? So Nimzo going for his 6th shot. Kind of messed up his angle a little bit, but it's all good.
Well, he didn't get it that... Oh.
Ooh, almost didn't. Okay, good. That would have been bad.
Yeah.
1 in 3 for both of them. Oh, Endvad failing grapple skip, but barely didn't get back. Unfortunately, didn't have enough magic. Yeah, grapple skip can just fail. I mean, there's a reason it fails, but usually it's kind of annoying when it does. It kind of seems random, but there is a reason why it fails. That means the setup was bad, but it never feels like that when you actually do it. So now they're pretty much like attempting at the same time, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Cruel fate. Nimzo on it. This is his 7th shot, I believe. I swear, man. 14 morths. I swear, people, keep your camera up. I know this was debunked, but I believe in it still. I keep my camera up because I believe the superstition that it makes it work. There was a long time belief where you need to keep the camera up to keep the morph loaded, or the pot loaded, I forgot which one. But then I think it was debunked somewhat recently, but I still do it because I still have superstition. And I think I have above average morph luck, so I'm gonna keep doing what I do. That was Endvad's 4th, and I believe Nimzo's on his 8th, so we'll see how this goes. Hopefully either one of them get it soon, or both get them soon. That'd be cool.
They're having fantastic luck here.
Nimzo got it, so we see the cutscene activated.
Yep.
The morph properly burned it. And now Nimzo is done, minus Ganon and a more cover to get to Ganon. So usually you need hook shot. There's a hook shot requirement here to get to the loading zone. They don't got that. It would take way too long to get. You'd have to go do a lot of things to get hook shot. So he's gonna stab a morph from a specific position so that it dies, but also attaches to him at the same time. Because we need this morph to drop a heart, but they only drop a heart if you kill it with the swords. This little glitch kind of circumvents that, and we can kill it with whatever later, because we killed it initially with the sword. We're gonna roll it off. Wait, did they both get it? OMG. So I didn't pay attention. I was explaining. Yeah, it's we're pretty much neck and neck.
Oh yeah, they both got it. I was busy sneezing.
You're gonna roll it off and hope that it goes the right way, so we can leaf it all the way up to Ganon. So they both have. Oh, dude, that's so unfortunate for Nimzo. That almost stayed on. So yeah, technically Endvad is ahead now. But honestly, some morph tomfoolery can make it flip back and forth at any moment. Like if this morph trolls for long enough and Nimzo gets a really good morph, we could see that, unfortunately, again.
It's still anyone's game.
So yeah, Nimzo is going to have to reset it up because he didn't get any good morphs again. Unfortunately. Oh, unfortunately the morph fell down. However, I think the chat just pointed out, but health was an issue anyways. I just realized that.
Yeah.
You could probably bomb twice, Javis, but do you have enough time to make it? I don't know. I probably do. I don't know. I'm not going to try that. So yeah, some morph tomfoolery, because you need to kind of adjust the morph to get into position. You want it in a specific spot, unfortunately. It fell off for Endvad. So the way the morph works is that it moves towards Link whenever Link moves fast enough. So once he passes a speed threshold, it'll run directly towards Link. And unfortunately, it fell off a little bit too much. Nimzo not opting to get a safety morph. Kinda spoopy. Because I think he had plenty of time to, considering the situation they're both in right now. But I respect the grind.
He's got that died again and grind set.
So yeah, Nimzo has his morph in position, is going to opt to do the hover now. Well, not opt, but start the hover. He has no choice. He has to do this hover. Hopefully liftoff is a-okay. Nice. And now because we did the morph glitch, we killed with an arrow, but it dropped a heart, and we will land on the heart, and bam. Nimzo died that same exact way at Leaf. I thought he was going to do it again. That would have been terrifying. Alright, so Nimzo
now we got another 30-minute cutscene.
Yeah, it'll be about 4 minutes. The one that was on the ledge, it just fell off. And then I don't remember exactly what happened. I think he could have tried to leave it back on, but I think he opted to just... Something happened and opted to just reload the area. Both having no safety morph now. Oh,
yeah, right now, Ganon's complaining about, like... I remember it was, like, too hot in the desert or something, so he took over Hyrule.
The scolding winds, you know. So the north is in good position for Endvad. Lining up the arrow shot now.
Oh, he doesn't have a safety morph either.
These kids and their dang bomb pull beforehand. Ooh, good lift off. A little spooky at a certain point. Also, look at that arrow. It's like stuck there, but it hit the morph. How did it do that?
Yeah. Magic.
Okay, so both are in Ganon. However, Ganon is a pretty quick fight, but it's a pretty scary fight. It's like not too difficult, but if you get hit once, if you have one slip up, Ganon does 1 heart of damage. So because we have no safety morph, we have 1 heart of health. So 1 hit means dead.
Yeah, they could easily both die here, and then we'll be here for like an extra 5 minutes.
Yeah, luckily if you die, you don't have to watch the cutscene again. We have to do you have to do morph hover every time you die.
Yeah.
So hopefully it doesn't happen. Shouldn't die, but you never know. Nerves, little small slip ups could always make a difference. Especially going fast, you could die pretty easily in the beginning. There are 3 phases to Ganondorf. There's a phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. They're all, I guess the first 2, they move on to the next one based on meeting a damage threshold, so you have to do enough damage to advance it. At least in the first one, to go fast is, you kind of put yourself in the danger zone. But if everything goes to plan, you should have no fear of dying.
Way to the danger zone. And now, for some reason, Ganon finds this turn of events highly amusing.
Yeah, he just lost his hopes and dreams and is laughing about it.
Yeah, he's like that one guy, Mr. Joke. What's his name? Well, anyway.
So yeah, assuming that everything goes to plan, Nimzo should be done in like about 10 minutes, 30 seconds. 10 minutes, 1 minute, 30 seconds. A little under that. Oh, Endvad's on PB pace.
Yeah.
Good point out, Minnie. That's really cool. Unfortunately, the end went a little bit kinda like the morph kinda trolled a little bit, but still solid PB, 2 minutes. Can't complain.
I don't think he's gonna be winning this unless Nimzo dies.
Well,
but
don't want to jinx it, but it's very possible. But hopefully it doesn't happen. And Nimzo starting phase 1. We'll have to do 3 quick spins, block, take damage from the barrier, or a knockback from the barrier. 1 more arrow, slash, and then bam. Every time you talk to Zelda, she'll quickly fire another arrow, so we abuse that fact and do a quick little 1 cycle. Or that wasn't a 1 cycle, but quick phase 1. There is a 1 cycle, but it's a lot more scary. Now in phase 2, you have to do the damage yourself, because Zelda got knocked the heck out. But in phase 3, she'll wake up, don't worry.
I don't know why Ganondorf, just like hits her instead of,
taking away the arrows.
Yeah, he was being a little too
rude. So yeah, that's phase 2 done. Zelda wakes up, and now all he has to do is redirect an arrow from Zelda. He needs to talk to Zelda. It's still a little scary. The arrow can damage you.
He's got to be in a good position.
Okay. I think it's fine now. So yeah, just need to redirect the arrow. The arrow can hit you. So if you have a sharp enough angle where they won't hit your shield, you will die. And bam, that is time for Nimzo. Coolio.
As long as he advances.
Oh my god, Nimzo, you need a dot done in the race room. Nimzo, wake up. Oh my goodness.
Oh!
Unfortunately, Endvad died. So that's... I think that's a rip on the PB. I didn't pay attention. I think he got hit by an arrow. Which is exactly what I was talking about, unfortunately.
It's hard to tell.
I was looking at the race room. Can someone confirm?
Well...
Oh, did he just get hit?
Ganon was throwing a punch or something.
I see, that's unfortunate.
And there was an arrow right after.
Side hop. Oh, that's very unfortunate. So I think that's rip on PB, because you have to do Morph Hover again, and that takes quite a while. So Nimzo won.
Is
really
Endvad gonna
match.
just
I don't know if they'll... I mean, it's pretty fine to just not hitting you. This is only game 1, though. Still pretty dang close, considering these circumstances. Kind of cool to see a little bit of a competitive match. So that's game 1 for Nimzo. Still a best of 3, though, so games 2 and potentially 3 will happen tomorrow. So we'll see about that one. But yeah, that's it for now.
Yeah,
I don't know...
Endvad is not continuing.
I don't know either will interview, because I know that Nimzo won't interview unless we do a text-to-speech interview or something, which would be kind of funny. But yeah,
I don't know. You could try to impersonate his voice. Have you ever heard?
Yes. I think once, but I don't remember.
Oh.
But I think we're done, I guess, for today.
Yeah, kind of. Endvad officially forfeited by now, so... yeah, that's it for game 1.
Cool, yeah.
I hope you all enjoyed what you saw. As said, we're gonna have at least 1 more of these, maybe even 2, depending on how game 2 goes. So I hope you're all good, and we'll be back for game 2 tomorrow. That game 2 is gonna be at 9 a.m. Eastern, so at 2 p.m. UTC, which means in 17 hours, 16 and a half. So yeah, I hope you're gonna be back for that one. And any final words from you two?
I think I am good. It was fun.
Yeah.
Hope you will potentially. I don't know if I'll be commenting tomorrow. Maybe Minnie can. But we'll see. We'll try to get a commentator there.
Alrighty. Thank you all for watching. Actually, wait. We're gonna have Endvad in here for a moment. Hey, Endvad. GG.
Hi. Thanks a lot. So sad. So sad. Oh.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But
just
I mean,
wait. But just, I am so proud of me because it's Nimzo. It's Nimzo, okay?
Yeah,
so,
that was pretty dang close, man.
Yeah.
Yes, that's so cool. I am really fine because tomorrow...
Yeah, I can for sure take a game off tomorrow or 2.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
You're gonna get him
tomorrow.
But
the Morse energy was cool for me for the pot, but the movement of the Morse... I don't know the strat. If the Morse fall down, what? Sorry, my French.
Yeah, from the ledge. I mean, as long as it doesn't touch you and it's like on the ground, you can like just leave it back up. But it's like most of the times when it falls like that, it'll grab onto you, and at that point, it's pretty much just retry. But if it lands on the floor next to you and it's like not on you, you definitely can just leave it back up.
Okay. Okay. So sad for the PB because I would be able to do a flat 1 hour 30 minutes, but
You'll get it
next time.
Yeah,
For
gonna
sure.
PB tomorrow.
At 6
Yes,
a.m. my
exactly.
time.
6 a.m.
Yeah.
Yes. Thanks
That's
for the
rough.
commentary. So
Yeah, no problem.
Hey,
It was
you better
I
be
will
up.
I will see the VOD because I don't see Nimzo during the race, but I have a viewer who say me it's so close. Okay, my hearts start to pulse at
Yeah,
200
for sure.
BPM.
Yeah, it was dang close.
Yes. Yes.
Alrighty.
Alrighty then. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you again so much to both
Yes.
Endvad and Nimzo for getting the race on, and also to Mac and to EJ for doing some commentary.
Thanks a lot,
Tomorrow-
CG.
Tomorrow, as said, pretty difficult time, so hopefully we're gonna have a match anyways, but no promises yet. We're gonna have the match either way, but not sure if we're gonna have a restream depending on the commentary situation. And that's it for now. So thank you all for watching before my voice completely dies. Take it easy. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.
Yes. Bye.